Hey everyone, Dr. Rohini here. I'm going to tell you about the osteology bones, radius and ulna. So here you can see the parts of the radius, the parts of the ulna on the upper end. So radius has got a radial head and it has got a tuberosity called the radial tuberosity. So this is the radial tuberosity and you can see this is the radial head and this gives attachment to the biceps brachii which is coming from above. Okay, where is triceps, you might wonder? That is on the ulna on the back side, okay, on the dorsal aspect. So this is anterior. On the posterior aspect of ulna you will see the triceps attachment. So the attachment of brachialis is here and biceps is here, obviously because this is the anterior view. So whatever crosses the joint, this is the elbow joint, it acts on the elbow joint. So these two will obviously act on the elbow joint and they are inserted very close to the joint. And you can see the origin of digitorum, flexor digitorum superficialis, pronator teres, flexor pollicis longus. So anything that says digitorum, flexor digitorum, pollicis, all these are going towards the phalanges, okay, up to the phalanges or metacarpals. So you don't see the attachment here, you'll only see the origin. So all these are the origins, okay. So this is the interosseous border, which is the medial border, sharp border, and gives attachment to the interosseous membrane here. Lower end you can see the styloid process of radius and ulna and it forms a arch-like structure which forms the wrist joint with the carpal bones, especially the capitate and the scaphoid. So you can see the insertions. This is the insertion and you please remember one important thing, that is supinator. Supinator is from the back side on the posterior aspect. You will see it originates from the ulna. So you remember supinator spelling, you see U to R. So supinator, it is coming from ulna to radius. That's how you can remember. It is coming from ulna, originating from ulna, going towards the radius and it wraps around these two bones on the posterior aspect. Similarly, pronator teres also is starting from the ulna and going towards the radius. So these two help in pronation and supination. And how do you remember this? You can remember this because the radius is the one which moves actually. The ulna is stationary. Radius bone moves and you can do the supination and pronation. Okay, let me show you the posterior aspect as well. So this is the posterior aspect where you can see, like I said, triceps you can see, anconeus you can see, supinator you can see. All these are the insertions and this is the biceps. Remember, there are insertions of these four muscles on the posterior aspect. Rest all of them are origin. So whatever says digitorum, see all these are flexors on the anterior aspect. Posterior aspect you will see only extensors, extensor pollicis, brevis, longus, indicis. All these are extensors along with the abductor pollicis, longus. So you remember like this, and this is the shaft origin. And of course you can see the styloid process here. And one interesting that you can notice is the radius. Okay, radius has on the lower end or distal end a tuberosity called the dorsal tubercle of radius. Okay, I'll leave it to you to find out what is the tubercle for. What are the tendons that cross this tubercle? And this one is giving attachment to the capsule of the wrist joint. So this is about the radius and ulna on the posterior aspect. I hope it was useful.